What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going. And today,
we have a special guest.
My mom.
Today, we're going to get the dirty on Miguel.
Oh, man.
I get to ask anything and everything. Right, Mom?
And I'm giving it up.
That's right. She's got my back.
So, yeah, welcome, Mom. Welcome back.
Thank you.
My mom was on episode 13. So, for those of you that, just started listening or started listening within the last year, because I looked it up, that podcast was 2 years ago.
Right.
And that one was in Mexico. And that one was a lot of fun, too. So, go back and check it out if you want. Episode 13.
That was your first on location.
That was the first one.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
We packed everything up and we shot it in Mexico from our hotel room. You could see people swimming in the background.
Yep. And Miguel's wearing a huge sombrero.
Yeah. I did the intro in Spanish.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a little different. That was a whole lot of fun.
Fun time.
Yes. And now we have you on again.
Yes.
We're super excited to have you. It's been a bit, with Corona and... Well, it's been a bit since we've seen you. Though we keep in contact all the time.
Oh, yeah. And I watch all your podcasts, so I'm keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
So my mom's here house shopping.
Woo-hoo!
So we've been on vacation for the last week, traveling around, and we've been out house shopping in Prescott.
Yeah.
Prescott.
Still Prescott.
And then we went to Sedona and checked out the Red Rocks and the vortexes and all the magical stuff that there is in Sedona.
Lots of magic.
It's breathtaking.
Magic.
It is.
It's breathtaking.
Why are you saying
It's magical? It really is. It's a beautiful place. There's no other like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you can appreciate that, it's just amazing.
You don't get tired of it.
You don't.
Like looking around and you're like, oh, like you could look at the same mountain. I don't know how many times and you're like, wow, that's still amazing.
Right.
I don't know if you live there for, I don't know if it's like that, but I can't imagine that it would.
30 years ago, I was there. That was the last time I was there. And it was just as amazing. It has been built up tremendously since I was there, but just as beautiful.
Yeah,
just
it's nice.
Beautiful.
So how did you like Prescott?
Prescott was great. It seems like a nice community. I feel very comfortable and at home there.
Yeah.
I don't come from a big city right now. I'm on the east coast of Florida. So it's similar, very similar, except up in the mountain.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would be moving to Arizona?
No, I thought I was going to have you move to Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It was either way. And I think more of a deciding factor was Jeff, my husband, Yayo.
Yep.
Who's watching us. We have an audience, so let's give it
the
up
in-studio audience.
to Yayo.
Yay, studio audience.
He's clapping.
He's clapping out there. You guys can hear it in the headphones.
So he's he really wants to move out this way. I think that's what really pushed us to come.
Wow. Well, thank you, Yayo.
It would be awesome to have you guys
Yeah.
here. That way, on the weekends we can go there. You guys can come here and we can go check stuff out. It'd be fun. It'd be a blast.
Adventures, expeditions, all kinds of things.
I'm excited because I've said this over and over again, but it takes a village to raise a child. And we have two of them, and three, and I'm so excited to have you guys in their life, with Jeff and all his knowledge and pouring some of that knowledge into our children and just, having your guys' support here with them means the world to us.
Thank you.
It'll be so
Thank
cool.
You. And just to be able to share some of the family stories that we have not been able to go over. You don't have enough time for everything, but sometimes when you sit one-to-one, you can share experiences of the family, and history.
And since you guys will be here, we can do that more.
Yes.
On the podcast. We can talk about it.
Right.
That'd be fun.
And one of the big stories in your life is your grandmother.
Yeah, we wanted to talk
And-
about that.
Yeah, the fact that she was that she went through the Civil War in Spain, and she had to flee, and she had some heavy experiences. So that's very
Yeah.
interesting. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and how
cool.
she came to this country and didn't speak English and made her way. So,
You know, babe, we were talking, I think, I don't know, a few episodes ago about like our parents or like people and their parents. Like a lot of times you don't ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
And you don't
Yes.
like learn their story.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is.
family
but-
history is
Yeah, exactly.
lost.
That kind of stuff.
It's
yeah.
lost because the communication doesn't continue from one generation to the next.
Yeah.
Where years ago, you would sit around because you didn't have all the entertainment you have now. And you would sit around and mom would be sewing and the kids would be playing with their little figurines or whatever, nothing that's animated or anything. And they would be talking and sharing, and grandma would be telling them about, you know, the wolves that she saw on the hill and, you know, how
Yeah.
grandpa killed them and whatever, you know. So yeah, history. And that doesn't happen anymore because we've got lives that are so complicated and
everybody's so busy.
connected.
When we were having dinner last night, you were sharing with us how you grew up.
Yes.
You know, and we were talking about the kids and their chores and how
Right.
it's so different today.
It is.
And how you mentioned, because we were talking about cleaning and how, you know, responsibility. And you were talking about how you, when you grew up, chores, I mean, what were you talking about? Like your clothes,
We
you
did
had
not-
maids, you had,
Right. We were lucky to have people that would come in and iron our clothes. We had somebody that ironed our clothes. We had somebody that cleaned our house. My mom was the only one that ever cooked, but she did work and my
Yeah.
dad worked. But even though we had the house cleaned by somebody and the clothes ironed and folded and prepared, our job was to take the clothes from where it was ironed and folded and take it to the rooms and put it away. And we used to complain about having
Who had to do
about
having
having
to pick
to
up the
do
clothes.
about
It's
having
like,
to
what?
put away folded clothes.
Oh my. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So it changes completely because, you know, we had things that at that point we didn't want to do that. And my parents said, well, we can make it a lot worse.
Yeah.
We can have you having to fold the clothes and
Wash the
iron
clothes
and
and
wash
do
them
all of it.
and everything. So they had to bring it into perspective for us that to
Yeah.
tell us how lucky we were
Right.
to have that,
Yeah.
you know, which was amazing. But on top of that, my father, when he would come on Saturdays, because we had to have our rooms nice and neat, we weren't allowed to have things on the floor or on the dressers.
Yeah.
It had to be the way the room was supposed to be. Everything had to be in its place.
And there was a certain way.
And it was a certain way, correct. And my mom would not allow us to put posters up. We were not allowed to decorate our own rooms.
Oh, man.
Our rooms were the way we were given those rooms by my parents.
How do you feel about that now, Mom?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I actually feel good. It's not that they didn't let me express myself.
Yeah.
It's that they were teaching me.
Order. Is it?
Exactly. They were teaching me to respect the things that they had purchased, that they had bought for us.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to deface any part of my room with posters.
It's like, this is my room. I allow you to live in it.
Exactly. Exactly. My father.
I can hear.
can hear
no,
my-
no, I can hear my
Totally,
grandpa.
right.
This is my room. I allow you to live in it.
and I
Be
don't
happy.
chit chat.
That's right. I don't chit chat like we said on the last
And
one.
don't argue. Don't argue with him because arguing was never, ever going to solve anything with them.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a dead end.
And it was a different time too.
Yes.
You know.
Totally different time.
So was that in Spain or was that in
No,
New York?
in New York.
So-
in New York.
When you lived in Spain, when was it that you lived in Spain?
Well, I was born in Spain and I lived in Spain until I was almost 5 and came here to the United States at almost 5. It was February and I turned 5 in October.
Okay.
So I went into kindergarten here at the age of 4 and turned 5 when I
So
was
you,
in
you did
kindergarten.
all of school here in the U.S.?
All of school, except I started school in Spain at the age of 3, and I was already writing in cursive at the age of 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was teaching us in Spain at the age of 3 how to write.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a little bit different, and yeah, it's just slightly different.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So on our previous podcast, we talked about our relationship.
Our relationship.
Our relationship.
Our relationship
my
is
mom
very special.
and my wife's relationship. For those of you listening,
Yeah. It's awesome.
You know-
It's I couldn't have picked anybody better. And I'm thankful that my son married Sonja. And I keep saying that he married her for me. And if he ever does anything to get her upset, I will be all over him.
it really
Because
it's
she's
awesome.
mine.
Yeah.
She's my girl. She's my girl.
You know what? I don't know what the other side is like. What it's like.
I can't
to
imagine.
have
I really
a wife that can't stand your mom. I don't know what that's like. But it's really cool. Like, I mean, in
Yes.
Sedona or when we were in Prescott, like you guys will take off and go to the store together and go do stuff. And
Yes.
it's like, hey, we'll be back. We'll see you guys later.
You guys already know, you
Yeah.
and Jeff. Okay,
Like, all right.
it's going to be a few hours. So what should we do?
We're like, where's the girl? Where are the girls?
Yeah. And that's the most wonderful thing, that you got a wife and I got a friend.
Yeah.
And I share that with my friends,
It
Mom.
doesn't happen.
And they just trip out. It's like, wait, you went to go visit your mother-in-law for how long? Just you and the kids. You
Yep.
left Miguel.
Yep.
Yes. And you enjoyed your time with her. And I'm like, yes. And I'm so excited because now she's thinking of coming, or she's going to move to Arizona. And I
Yes.
can't wait.
I'm so excited. I am
know?
so excited. It can't happen fast enough.
I know.
All right.
But I'm still a little too young, so I can't retire. So when that happens, I think we're going to make that jump.
And eventually we'll all be in the compound together.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
The compound.
That's
Yes.
Eventuality.
So, Mom, what was it like growing up in New York at the time?
In New York, well, when I first came here and I didn't speak any English, I had my schoolmates that would teach me English. I was labeled a trouble child because my kindergarten teacher had never dealt with a non-English speaking child.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, and I used to get upset because she called me Margarita, and she refused to call me Pitita. And
So you had that nickname where did you
was-
get that nickname Pitita?
when I was born, my sister Victoria was 15 months old. So she was a little toddler that was walking around and babbling little words here and there. So when they would come and see me, they would say, "Come see the little one." In Spanish is La Pequeñita. Margarita. It sounded like Pita. She started with Pita. It ended up with Pitita. And guess what? That's what I've been since I was born.
Since
Since I was born. So when I went to kindergarten here in the United States and I had Mrs. Schwartz, shout out.
Shout out to Mrs. Schwartz.
I don't even know if she's alive still, but if she is, shout out.
Shout out to Mrs. Schwartz.
Yeah, she. I asked that, or we had asked that she call me Pitita, and she refused. And my mom went up to the school because my mom was like a lion.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't mess with her cubs.
We have a
She
problem.
was on you.
We have a problem.
We having a problem. You need to understand that she is giving you a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she said the reason she allows you to call her Pitita is because she feels affection towards you. And that's a privilege.
Yeah.
And my mom made her understand
Wow.
that I was allowing her to call me Pitita.
Yeah.
And that was my preference. So, yeah, she
That
said,
was such a good way to put it, though.
That's crazy, right?
You know? Yeah, like you should be honored
Exactly.
that she's okay with you calling her
Yeah.
Petita.
right, she is
Because-
considering you part of her
Yes.
inner circle then.
Yeah.
So I guess that changed things, but she got upset because the class had gotten up to tell me what a bunny rabbit was, and they all started hopping around the class when she had stepped out of the class.
Yeah.
And she walked back in. The class was up. They're all hopping around like little bunnies. And she was up in arms, and she said, "Oh yeah, this girl is trouble. She's not helping my class."
I could totally see that. You know?
Yeah.
How was go ahead, man.
I was just saying, like, your mom is fun. Like, she's fun. I could totally see her having everyone hop around like little bunnies.
I was trying to figure out what the language was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were trying to tell me until they started hopping around, and it was a bunny.
Yeah.
You know, I had another schoolmate that would bring me a snack, and she wouldn't give it to me until I said what it was in English.
Oh,
And she would bring me an orange, an apple, cookie, you know, whatever it was. And
that's cool.
And that was Debbie Russo.
Shout out to Debbie Russo.
She's a jeweler in New York, in Manhattan.
Debbie Russo, Mrs. Schwartz, shout out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was quite the experience, but I do remember that I learned English pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Having started school here.
When do you think you started speaking English fluently?
I would say it took me a good 9 months, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, that's how quick a 5-year-old will pick up a language.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was the same way. I started kindergarten. I didn't speak English,
That's
but
right.
I don't remember not speaking English. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
I must have learned it pretty quick because I don't remember having any problems.
Yes.
I think I remember maybe one time, or maybe it's just that my dad told me that somebody talked to him about putting me in some class for like ESL, like
Right.
to learn
for
English,
second-
and he was like, "No, he's gonna learn English just like everybody else. Like he'll learn
catch
it
up."
in class." And I don't remember not speaking English.
Exactly. And the reason that you didn't speak English is because your father and I refused to speak to you in English because we wanted to form your base of Spanish first.
Yeah.
Because that was the language you were not going to hear as often. So you would only hear that at home.
See, I love that.
So we wanted to make sure. But in essence, going to Spain for the summer and going to Ecuador for you in the summer was really what helped keep the language.
Well, I think the language for me, it's been tough like the past 20 years because everywhere that I've lived up until then, everybody spoke Spanish around me. Like even my friends, my best friends, they had to speak Spanish to their parents in New York. Like my friends' parents don't speak English. So whenever I would go to my friend's house, I would hear them speak to their parents in Spanish. When they would come to my house, they would talk to my parents in Spanish. You know, like Spanish was our first language in New York. But then once I left and I went to Florida, I mean, I would still speak Spanish
At home.
with Nana. But with Nana, we would speak English. For the most part, we would speak English. In school, we speak English. At work, we speak English. I joined the military. Everybody speaks English. And it really wasn't until I came here to Phoenix where I could speak a little bit more Spanish because there's more Spanish people here. But there's not people that I interact with on a regular basis in
speak
Spanish. So little by little, the Spanish just starts. I have to think about it more.
I do too. I notice that I lose certain words. I want to
Say
express
something,
myself, and I'm struggling to come up with the word in Spanish.
Where in English, it's just.
In English, it
just
comes right out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm right now getting certified as a medical interpreter.
Nice.
So that's something that I'm working on is recall.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. Mom, so how was your experience in school?
In school,
How were you as a student?
I was
Just wondering.
just like you.
Yeah. Shitty student.
What does that mean?
I was just like you.
Like you could do it. You
wanna
could
know
have done
why?
it if you wanted to.
I say that because your nano said, when you have a child,
Oh.
I want you to have one.
Why do they do
just
that?
like you?
That's the
Why
curse.
do they do that?
Because I guess I gave him a run for his money.
Okay, so so
What's
when
up?
your mom and I, we went, to the store when we were out in Prescott, and she's driving, and she is so when you're driving, right? You are impatient,
Start yelling at
and
me
your
so
mom
much.
is the same way, and it's hysterical. Like it's just hysterical.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I see where he gets it from.
When you first got here, I don't know who was it? We had pulled up to a stop, right? a stop, and I don't know if it was a 4-way stop or something. And
It was a
usually
4-way
was
stop.
it? And I don't know who was driving. Was
I
it
was
you?
driving.
And you stopped for a split second. Nobody
were
went,
looking at
and you
each
took
other.
off. And that's like I do that all. Like I will come up if there's other cars coming up to a stop sign, and you're already stopped. I'm gonna stop. If you don't move, I'm going because you should have already been going.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like, well, you're not moving, then I'll go. You'll figure it out eventually.
Exactly.
But you're more of an extrovert, right? Like you like to go out. You talk to strangers just like I do. When we're out, we're both just talking to people that we don't know.
Yes.
Like we're making friends. No.
Right. I have no problem approaching people
and
at all.
Yeah, not me. I'm like creeping over step by step.
No, totally. You're just avoiding
until I'm just like
people.
next time I'm like, what's up? You doing anything? What are you up? You know, like
so
little,
you guys
little conversation, and then we'll work our way up to something.
Did you know what I said?
Yeah.
You're the same but different.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm like, when you come, I know I'm going to have, vacation buddy. Like, hey, mom,
let's do
I want to go skydiving. Did it. Let's go.
Yeah. We should talk about that too. My mom's been skydiving. How many times have you been skydiving?
I've done it twice, and I wanted to get certified, but that's quite the process. And it didn't work out, but it was amazing. Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Yeah. Dang,
absolutely.
That's crazy. That's cool.
I did hot air ballooning and skydiving, and those are two checked off.
Did you say you did
zip lining?
See, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where did you do zip line?
I did that in Costa Rica. And it's one of the longest zip lines with rappelling. You also have rappelling.
Wow, that's
which
cool.
is great. Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Dang. You were saying that you when you went skydiving, you jumped out at how high?
13,500.
And it took you what, like 4 or 5 minutes to get down?
It was about a minute and a half of free fall, and then about 4 minutes of drop.
That's cool.
How was that?
It was an amazing
what were you
experience.
feeling from the time you jumped out of the plane? That moment, because that's the moment that most people.
Well, yeah, the moment right before you jumped out. What was that like?
The moment that just before I jumped out, it's funny because you're attached to somebody, so you don't have a chance for second thoughts.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're going.
Okay, you're going.
Oh,
you're
shit.
attached to somebody, and he's scooting you. Holy
shit!
He's scooting you to the door.
He's like, "We're doing this."
And the funny thing is he goes, "Okay, we're jumping on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3 out the door." I expected him to say three
and then
jump, but no, it was 3. 3 was out the door.
Right.
So
man,
it was perfect. But as soon as he pushed forward, I held my breath as if I was going to go into a pool of water.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh yeah, I can breathe. I can breathe. And you're dropping so fast. It's like, I don't know, 120 miles an hour that you're descending.
Wow.
And your skin on your face is pulling back, which looks lovely.
FYI. Which looks lovely.
And I had goggles on, which were pressing against your eyes so hard.
Ooh.
But it was good because the wind was rushing
strong,
at you that you wouldn't be able to have your eyes open that well. And it was pretty amazing. It was you hear the rush of the wind in your ears. And then when he pulls the ripcord, you float up, and then you hear silence.
Ooh, that's cool.
And that's when you get a chance to look around, and you see the curve of the earth.
Yeah.
And you see the horizon and the distance. It's just amazing. And then it's just total peacefulness.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
It's awesome. Unbelievable. Then I lift my feet, and he lands.
So he
that seems like a pretty chill ride.
I am so down.
Great.
I am so
It
down.
is great.
And was this a gift, or was it just something you wanted?
It was a gift from Yayo, or from
Nice.
Jeff. And he had given it to me for Christmas. And it was a package that had the video. So I have a video of it, which is lovely. Again.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it was wonderful. And the second one, I think he also gave it to me as a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the second one different from the first one? Like at that moment?
Okay.
Was it any
so
different?
I knew what to expect. So I didn't.
You knew you were going on 2.
I was going on 2. Yes. But the nice thing is that because I had already done it, one of the other instructors that had jumped, he came at us when we were doing our free fall.
Oh,
and
nice.
he came over to us and put his hand out, and I thought he was going to shake my hand, and he grips my wrists, and we start doing a helicopter spin.
Wow.
And I wasn't expecting that, but oh my God, it was amazing. It was
That is
amazing.
so
And
cool.
then he let me go. Of course, he let us go. And then a little while later, he pulled the ripcord. And so that was an
That is so
unexpected
cool.
experience that he was able
Super
to
cool.
spin me like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really neat.
We talked about the float tanks before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about your experience with the float tank,
Oh.
and if you could describe for our listeners what is a float tank.
So a float tank is a big pod that is full of, I think, something like 1,200 gallons of water or something like that.
Yeah.
Salt.
And it has salt, Epsom salts.
Yeah.
And it's at a certain temperature, which is like 94 degrees, which is your exterior body temperature.
Yep.
And you submerge yourself, and you have to make no effort to float, which is fabulous.
Yeah, because the so much salt, you're
the
just
saline holds you. The salt holds you up. You're in this wonderful water, and it's the same temperature as your body. And you close the lid, and you're in there all by yourself.
Completely dark.
And it's dark, and it's peaceful, and all you do is float. And you relax to such a point where I felt like I was upright, and I was floating the entire time.
Yep.
And I thought that I was going to be, because I got a 90-minute float as a gift from
90
you.
minutes. So you were
An
in
hour
there
and
for
a half.
Yes.
And I kept saying to myself, oh, I don't think I'm going
Right.
to make it through the whole 90 minutes.
Yes.
I'll jump out at, in a half an hour. I'll take a little break. I'll
Right.
go back in. I'll float for another half an hour. And that's what my intention was.
That was your plan.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
But once I got myself relaxed, and I would say that it took me a good 15 to 20 minutes to fully relax.
Yeah.
Once I fully relaxed, I lost track of time.
Yeah.
I
It's
totally
crazy.
lost track of time. I felt such peace and comfort. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was such a wonderful thing. And I have 2 of those to look forward to when I get back to Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. They're fun. So the whole idea behind the float tank is like it removes all the sensory input that you normally receive. So like if you're sleeping, I mean, even though you're asleep, you can still feel that you're laying on a bed, or you can hear a car drive by or an ambulance in the background.
Yes.
But in this thing, you're laying in the water that's the same temperature as your skin, so you don't
Yes.
feel the water. There's so much salt in it that it's lifting you up out of the water so you can breathe and just lay there. It's completely dark and silent, so you can't hear or see anything.
It's amazing.
And they say that the more you do it, the faster you're able to get into that state of just chilling. And relaxing. But when you get into that state, your mind just starts
Right.
wandering. Like they
It
say
does.
you even can start hallucinating because your body and your brain is not it's not used to not having any
Right.
input at all.
No stimulus.
Right.
Yes.
So my experience, I felt like I was floating. I felt like I was in space. I felt like I was turning.
Really?
Yes, but I knew that I was not turning because you don't have room
No.
to turn.
You don't have room.
Right.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's
just laying
great.
there. Yep.
so I felt like I was in space,
Yeah.
and I felt like I was turning.
And it's better to even because you're in this pod by yourself. So the best thing is if you do it naked. That way you don't even
Right,
feel
right.
clothes.
Yeah.
You don't feel anything. You're just laying in the water.
Yeah, and they gave me the option to
Yeah,
be
you can
naked,
wear
and
whatever you
I
want.
went naked.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was like,
Yeah.
absolutely. You let me take that clothes off, it's coming off.
I've heard that for people that have like a lot of pain or stuff like
Yes.
when
It
you
relieves.
once you start relaxing, like it's almost like you don't even feel your body.
Because the pressure melts
Yeah.
on any joint or anywhere you have, pressure, it just kind of goes away.
Yeah. It's worth a shot.
It felt we were in there for about 90 minutes.
I don't know
was
if
it
ours
90
was
or
an hour.
60?
It might have been an hour.
And it felt like we were in there for 10
Oh,
minutes.
yeah,
Do you
like,
remember
you-
that?
you
Like
lay-
we were going to go out
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were gonna go out.
We
Yeah.
got in it and you lay there, you start to relax and you start getting into that feeling like, okay, now I'm like, because the first time, well, we've only done it once. We got to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, like, you want to start chilling. Like
Right.
you're trying to get into that mode because you want to get there, but you're laying there and it's like, I think I got an itch on my nose. And it's like, I'm not going to scratch it.
Oh, that's, yeah, your mind's
you know, like, but then eventually you get there and like, I thought I had a bunch of time and I'm just chilling. And then before I know it, the music starts coming on.
The lights.
And the lights come. And I'm like,
what the heck?
I was in here for an hour already.
Yes.
Like it felt like I had been in there for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you get out, you feel so
light.
At peace.
Yeah.
And I felt light.
And comfortable. There's no way we were going
we did
anywhere else.
No, we did the oxygen bar after.
Oh, did you?
It was, they give you like the little.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
What the scented
We have
oxygen
the
or whatever.
Halo.
Yeah.
We have the
that
Halo,
was
the Himalayan salt rooms.
Yeah.
Which I want to try. I haven't tried it yet.
Got to look into that. So, yeah.
They do that in conjunction with the floats, and it's only like a $20 add-on.
Is it?
So I'm going to do that with the 2 floats that I have.
That'll be cool. You got to tell us about
check
that.
Check it out, yeah.
Hey, we got to get connected to a float.
What, like a sponsor?
Heck yes.
A float sponsor.
Give us some free floats.
Dang,
Let
that'd be
us
good.
talk about your, right?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But while we work on that, make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. You can see our YouTube there. You can watch all the videos. You can listen to the podcast there. You can follow all of our social media. You'll also see the support the show tab if you're on the computer at the top, or if you're on the phone, you click the menu button, you'll see the support the show tab. And that'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the show. And you can search Opposites Attract Podcast, and you'll find all of our merch, our cell phone cases, pop sockets, T-shirts, all that kind of stuff by searching Opposites Attract Podcast on Amazon. And also, when you click on the Support the Show tab, you'll see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary and signing agency. So if you are in the process of selling, purchasing, or refinancing, you can go to our website and request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Excellent. You can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. And we're also affiliates with Libsyn, who hosts our podcast. If you have a hobby that you want to talk about and you want to start a podcast, you can use promo code OAP for Opposites Attract Podcast. That'll give you the rest of whatever month you sign up in for free, and the next month for free just for trying out Libsyn, promo code OAP. And our newest affiliate,
Woo-hoo!
Pinwheel.
Yes, yes.
And Pinwheel, they make pretty much the best kids phone that's available today. And it's what we decided to get for our daughter. We didn't reach out to the company for anything at first. We just bought the phone. We love the phone. And then we decided that we wanted to share Pinwheel's message because they're doing some great work. And if you guys would like 10% off of a Pinwheel phone, you can use promo code OAP10. And that's all spelled out, all in caps, OAPTEN on pinwheel.com to
And
get 10% off of that phone.
Yes. And if you live in Austin, Texas,
You missed their event that comes out the day this podcast comes out. That's why we need more time in advance.
Yes. But that is something that we're going to be doing in the future.
Yes, keep an eye on our social media because whenever they have events in their area, or who knows, in the future, they may have other people doing events. I don't know. We got to talk about some things. But they're doing great work. Check them out. Pinwheel, promo code OAPTEN for 10% off.
Yes, yes. Good stuff.
All right. So, Mom, so you in school.
Oh, yeah. In school, I was a good student as long as I focused on class.
Yeah, kind of like me.
If I was not in class, because occasionally I didn't go to class,
Yeah,
even though I had perfect attendance,
Kinda like me.
supposedly.
yeah.
Well, that's where all your friends were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that would be the only problem because I did, as long as I was in class, I did very well in school. And when I didn't attend class, I didn't do well.
Yeah.
So studying was not huge for me, where I didn't have to study hard to do well. As long as I attended class and I paid attention, I did very, very well.
Yeah. I
So
did
it's
well
kinda like
1 year.
you
Yep.
know?
And what year was that?
I did well my senior year.
Your senior
That was
year.
it.
We're trying to get Joey to do well before his senior year
yeah.
because he has a lot of.
Well, that's the thing.
same-
Like, I realized with Joe, like, if he was just to learn the basics, he would like school because he would get good at it and he would like the results that he's getting. Like, he would like getting good grades. He would like the teacher
Yes.
counting on him for certain questions because she knows he would like that kind of stuff. He just has to get to that point. We got to help him get there.
Yeah.
But for me, I just wanted to hang out with my friends more than anything. I mean, I had too many friends at a certain point. You go elementary school, junior high school with all the same people. And it's a shit show by the time I got to. Sounds like one big party. It was one big party. And it wasn't until I moved to Florida with my mom.
What age was that?
I was what, 16? 15? No.
15. 14. 14 when you came.
No? I was older because I had 15. Already done 2 years of high school in New York.
Okay, so you went 15, to Florida 16. As a junior.
15.
As a junior?
Yeah, as a junior.
Okay.
Yep. And my first year, I had a little bit of a hard time getting acclimated to Florida, and I was still had a little bit of the. I tried more. I passed
New York.
Well, I passed a couple classes.
Right.
But in New York, I was failing all the classes.
But let's talk about the difference with your personality, the attitude you came with to Florida, and having to adjust. That
was tough. It got. It got, well, actually, there's something that we can talk about with that too. Yeah,
that's right.
But there actually, I borrowed my mom's bat one time. Probably don't know about that, but.
Don't.
But my mom has a bat, so we'll talk about that too. But
there you go.
So we were in, it was my first year in Florida. And well, for one, it's just a completely different vibe in Florida.
Yes.
Like I went to school and I was, I'd wear jeans and sneakers, and over there everybody's wearing board shorts, flip-flops, and tank tops like they're going to the beach. Well, the beach was across the street, so it's like a beach community. And I don't know, I just kind of, in New York, it was always kind of like if you pick on somebody or if
you look at somebody.
Well, yeah, if you pick on somebody, if you look at somebody, if you say something to somebody, you have to expect that something might happen. Like if you have a smart comment for somebody or whatever, you have to expect that you might get smacked, you might get into a fight, something might happen.
Something's going to happen.
And what I don't know, I noticed in Florida it was just different. People would say things, people would do things, and nobody ever did anything. And I remember one time, like I was playing football, and one guy, I don't know what happened, he was just cocky or whatever. And I was new in school, and I didn't want to start stuff or whatever. And we were in this gym class, and the gym teacher told me, "Hey, pass me the basketballs." And or no, she told him to round up all the balls. And I'm playing basketball, and he was kind of like on the other side. And I was like, "I'll just shoot a shot, the last shot. If it bounces towards me, I'll pass it to him. If it bounces towards him, he'll get it and put it away." And I shoot the ball, and he comes running up to me like, "I told you to give me the ball. Who do you?" And I just put my hands up, like, I guess if you're getting in my face, then this
we're gonna
is what
fight.
And then there was another guy, Tony, that had moved from New York
Padilla
the year before, and he saw that I was ready to start fighting, and he came and jumped in between. He's like, no, you don't want to do that. He's like, they'll kick you out of the school. They don't mess around here. And I thought about it. I was like, this is a new school. I was like, I don't want to start off on the wrong foot.
Right. So
that was the end of that. But I did talk to the gym teacher, and I told her, I was like, I don't know who that guy is. If he gets in my face again, I'm going to freaking hit him. And I liked the gym teacher, and she liked me too.
Okay.
And I was just telling her, I was like, look, I don't know what his problem is, but if he does that again, I'm going to hit him. And we were playing soccer a couple days later, and he freaking bumped me, and I go sliding across the grass, like being an asshole. So I was like, all right. I thought about it again. I didn't want to get in trouble at school, but I knew he lived in the neighborhood. And I knew that he was going to get off on a certain bus stop. So I don't know. I don't think. Did you have that bat in the Crown Vic?
It went to the Crown Vic.
Oh my
okay. Because I was trying to think. I remember in New York, my mom had, in case some shit popped off, she had
Are you kidding me?
She had a burgundy baseball bat that matched the interior of her car.
Porsche. What? I drove a Porsche.
That was in the trunk.
A burgundy interior.
Or in the passenger seat.
Next
and
to
the
me
bat
right
was
here.
in there just in case, Mom?
It was right next to the driver's seat.
It matched the car, babe.
And it matched the car.
It was an accessory.
And it was it was just in case, because every once in a while
Now, do you all know why I love her? No.
Yeah.
I would drive into the Bronx and I would drive into Harlem in my Porsche, and I would have to pay people to watch my car.
Yeah.
Because I was not in good areas. So when you go, it was just something that you did. You had something to protect yourself as a girl.
Yeah.
Driving a sports car. So I did. Yeah. I had that beautiful bat.
Beautiful bat.
Burgundy.
It was.
It was a beautiful bat.
Nice.
It was nice.
And when I sold my Porsche and I got my Crown Vic, it moved right along with me into the Crown Vic. So yes, they came to
So it
Florida.
might have been that same bat.
Okay.
It was the same one.
But yeah, I knew.
What were you doing with that bat? What were you going to do?
I wasn't gonna do it. I was probably gonna scare him or something, but I had talked to the gym teacher. Oh, so before I left school, before the whole bat thing happened, I guess somebody had talked to the dean or somebody and said that something might happen between me and this other kid because they've seen some shit going on or whatever. And the dean came and talked to me like I had done something wrong. Like, you have to understand that this kid was a wrestler and he had a big wrestling match or something. Maybe he was getting pumped up. And I was like, look, I don't give a shit what he's getting ready for. If he does that again, school policy, no school policy, I'm going to hit him. So I don't care. And then the dean took an attitude with me like, oh, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why are you talking to me? You need to go talk to that guy. He's the one being an asshole.
He's the aggressor.
You know, but for some reason, I don't know what happened. I ended up going to the bus stop or somewhere around there and he never got off. And that was nothing. Nothing ever happened. So
did you guys become friends?
No.
No?
No, you know what I think happened? I think somebody told him that I was waiting at the bus stop with a bat. Oh. And I think he never messed with me again.
He said, this guy's serious.
I think that's what happened. I think that yeah. But that's what you get.
All right. So were you a bit rebellious growing up, would you say?
Well, in certain ways, yes, but more in immature ways. My sister would push the limit on rules as far as curfew and things like that. I was the first one to go to sleep. I would be the first one in bed, no problem. And if I got punished, I was not the child that would say, but if can, I would never. If my father said, you did this, go to your room, I'd go, okay. And off I'd go.
Yeah.
I would not complain. My other sisters, Dad, but I won't do it again, but no. And he would have to continue and push and push.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, okay, yeah, I did wrong. Bye. I'm out.
Did Miguel rebel? Was he a little troublemaker?
He was not. He was a good kid.
It was different. I think because my years for rebelling, my dad always worked nights, and I grew up like I lived mostly with my dad. Like I would go see my mom on the weekends and on the summers, and then eventually I ended up moving with my mom. But I was with my dad most of the time, and he was usually working when I was out of school. So even if I got grounded at a certain point, I was like, nobody's here. So I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want.
Oh,
Right.
And if I have to pay the consequences later,
He brought himself
I'll deal with
up.
that. I'll deal with that when it comes. And
Right.
it'd be like, you're grounded. You'd be like, I got to go to
Okay.
work. You'd be like, all right, well, I'm out. There was one time I remember I was in Steven's car, my best friend's car. Shout out to Stevens. I know you're
Shout out
listening. For that one time
son
that
from my
we were
mother.
But we were driving somewhere, I don't know where, but we had pulled up to a stoplight, not realizing that my dad's car was in front of us. And he
wow.
recognized Steven's car behind us. And I think he saw in the rearview mirror that I was sitting in the passenger seat. And he's like, this fucker's supposed to be grounded or something. And he jumped out at the light and fucking pulled me out of the car.
Yes.
I could see
He's like,
that.
get your ass.
funny.
I was like, oh, shit.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, man. But that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, I did. At that point, I just did whatever I wanted, and I got into a little bit of trouble. Nothing really major, nothing
So
crazy.
I have a
but
question for you. You asked me about driving and how I'm very similar to him. I taught him how to drive.
Yeah,
I also
Yeah.
taught his father how to drive. So I want to know,
Yep.
is your father like that too?
You know what?
Because I don't think I was raging at that time.
I don't think that's right.
I don't think I had that much road rage when I was younger.
You know what? To be honest, I don't remember my dad driving a lot because the most I remember of like driving growing up was my dad running late to work and my stepmom hauling ass. Hauling ass while my dad is putting on his freaking shoes, packing up his bootleg movies into his, into his bag.
That's hysterical.
And I just remember her hauling ass, and he's like, "I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. Go, go, go!" And she's this 86 freaking Buick, some bullshit. And he's like, and I'm like, "We're gonna die in this thing."
I was out because you lived with your dad, and then there's times you would go live with your mom, and there was such a big difference.
Yeah.
In the way they lived. Like you got the taste of living the good life, right? Because your side of the family was very well off.
Well, we were middle class with extras.
Yeah.
With
How about?
extras.
Because
upper
right,
upper,
because we
upper
had a
middle class.
vacation home in Spain, and that was someplace that we went to, and we did have somebody that came and cleaned our house and stuff. So we did have extras, and it's not to say that we didn't work. I started working when I was 15.
Yeah.
So our parents did teach us certain things of responsibility and work ethic and, that. But yes, we did have an easier time than his dad.
Yeah.
And then you lived with your dad where, you weren't as broke as me growing up.
No.
Right? There's times where, like we were shopping at the Salvation Army and so forth, but you had, it wasn't like when you would go visit with your mom.
No, it was
like it was different,
different,
right?
yeah.
Like night and day. When you were little and you seen this, were there any thoughts as a child, was there anything that stood out or impacted the way you think or the choices that you made or anything like that?
It's tough. You just don't like growing up. I didn't know
Different.
I didn't know different. I didn't know the full story of everything that had happened. I just, and that's what I was used to.
Yes.
Like I was used to growing up like that. So I knew that there is a different way. Like I was like, wow, like this is cool.
But he got used to doing both sides.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't, it was.
Because I know in Spain with Nana and my sisters, when you were there, you had to follow the rules the way we were brought up.
Yep.
Sitting at the table and eating, you have to put your stuff away. You can't do this. You can't do that. There are rules, and you have to abide by them.
Right. It sounds like you had more. I don't know if you'd say stability, but like you said, with the rules,
Structure.
It's more
there you
more
go,
structure. Yeah.
Yes.
More structure, and it was different. It was a little bit different.
Less running wild on your own.
Yeah.
It was more adult guidance, and you had an uncle that used to take you everywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Miguel.
Unfortunately, we lost him
That's the
at
one
a very young age.
Yeah, that I've talked about on the podcast. That
37 years old.
Hopefully, be like him one.
I know.
Like that's. I remember we just saw a picture. Since you're here visiting and you brought some pictures, I saw a picture of him, and whenever I see him, like it's always like that's the uncle that you want to be like.
Yes,
for your nephews.
He was such a nice
Yeah,
man.
he was great.
Really good.
So fast forwarding.
Were you interviewing us now? What's going on?
Do you have anything else?
No, go ahead, babe.
Well, I'm just, because you and I did not meet
No.
until the day of the wedding.
Right. I think
So were you like, oh my God, praying?
I think Miguel floated a balloon at one point before the wedding, but didn't give me full details. And then, of course, invited me to the wedding.
Hey, Mom.
And what
that's
was
where
that?
we met.
Yes,
Yeah.
but how
Which
did
was-
you, because you've had an experience. He had a girl from before, so you had an
Right.
experience there. And all of a sudden, I don't know, 2 years or however long after, it wasn't that long after,
Right.
now he's getting married. Were you like, oh my God?
I was excited.
Really?
Yes, I was excited because I saw that he was happy.
Yeah.
You know, he came across as being happy. It wasn't like when he was with the other girlfriend.
Yeah.
There was no happiness.
Yeah.
There, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was a very stressful situation. So I was happy for him, but I was also concerned because I hadn't met you.
Yeah.
You know? And we got to meet, and oh my God, I felt like I met my soulmate.
I married my wife from my mom.
You did. And I was so thankful. I said, if I ever did anything right in my life and got him to marry Sonja, that's it, baby. That's it. I'm done.
Dude,
I'm
even
done.
you know what? Even on this podcast, like for those of you that listen, you guys know my thoughts, my ideas, like how I see things when it comes to spirituality and all that stuff. You get my mom and Sonja together, and they're
We're
off.
praying for her heathen son.
Right. Let's bow our heads. Yes. Let's bow our heads and ask God to enter him.
Before my
Right
mom
now.
leaves. Before my mom leaves, they're gonna do an exorcism on me or something.
We're going to do a Jesus infusion.
Yeah,
it's not an exorcism. It's a Jesus infusion.
Yep.
Do you know, we were so drunk, Mom, the night before. I mean, you were there. You helped.
Yeah.
You helped.
I was encouraging
I
you.
was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if she's trying to get me drunk so she could see if this is the real me.
Let's see what happens.
I was having a good time.
Right? But that's
we
the
just
thing.
hit it off.
You and I are happy drunks.
Yes, we are. And we get along well. And we hit it off so well, so quick that I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. And I can't imagine anybody else having issues if relationships like this. I just don't understand it. I think it's the most wonderful thing in the world. I got to have a daughter and a friend, which you don't get.
Do you know what's crazy? And something that I doubt that hardly anybody that most people do, but we've celebrated a few anniversaries of ours.
Yes.
Together, like with my mom, with my dad, Jeff, with family. Like we go on trips, and it'll be like right around the time of our anniversary. And say, well, what are we gonna do?
So true.
And it's like, you know what?
Family.
We're going on a vacation.
Because
we're gonna have
summer.
You know, and it's like we're celebrating the
Summertime.
anniversary together.
That's right. And you know, I just got to tell you, I appreciate you so much because I'm gonna make myself cry. But it's like, because it's so hard for us to get time alone.
Yes.
You know,
yes. And I try and provide that when I'm here.
You do.
You know, but it's also on a selfish.
He's gonna make us both cry. We're both emotional.
It's also on a selfish note that I take those children and I keep them with me because I want to have them all to myself.
Yeah.
So in a selfish way, I'm stealing your children from you and giving you your space, which works out well for both of us.
Yes.
You know, because I get their undivided attention, and I can't tell you how loving and affectionate my grandchildren are. They are stuck to me on either side, and I couldn't be happier.
Mom, you
It's
work
amazing.
with kids.
I
You
do.
work with a lot. Do you see? I think I do. Like I try. Even with you, like I try to be affectionate with the kids, with my wife, with with people that I love.
Right.
You know. And do you see that with little with other families
And their parents?
like the affection?
I do.
And any of that kind of stuff.
I do, and I see both sides.
Do you?
Yes, there are some parents that are very affectionate, very hands-on, very involved. And then you have other parents, and I work in pediatric cardiology, so that's an area where there's serious problems at times. But you have some parents that check out completely. And I have to do a full workup on a child, which involves doing an EKG. And here I have sometimes a 2-week-old child. Sometimes it's older, but it depends. And you'll have a 2-week-old, which you would think that the mom or the mom and dad, or sometimes it's only the mom, sometimes it's the grandparent that's bringing the child. But they disengage. They go sit down and they let me do whatever I need to do. And they're not, caressing the child and
Yeah.
soothing the child. And I'm singing to make the child comfortable. And I sing in Spanish 99% of the time. And I soothe them to get what I need to get done. So
We
I
are
get
a very
both.
affectionate family, though.
Yes.
I mean, you're just as
Yeah.
affectionate
Yeah.
with our children
Our cousins,
as you are.
Our cousins,
And it's
Danny.
Vicky,
Danny's
it's
very
everybody.
affectionate.
Yes.
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 Titi Mickey.
Because it's not very common so Joey's going to be 10, Audrey's 12, and they are still affectionate with us in public with their friends.
Is that
She'll
our
have
European
friends,
side?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, it
she'll
is.
have friends over and she'll come sit on my lap like she wants her mommy.
Him at the age of 15 in Florida with his friends around would come and sit on my lap and hug me and kiss me.
Okay,
And that's
so
unheard of. Normally, children push you away.
Right.
Danny,
Not in
same
front of my
thing.
friends.
Yeah.
Not in front of my
Right,
friends.
not in front of my friends.
Right.
And he would bring his friends, and if I was at home, he'd come and sit on my lap and hug me and kiss me. And that was just a normal thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
I love bragging about that because I see these teenagers and I call them. It's funny because I have a private language with the doctor I work with, and I come out with Spanish expressions to explain children's demeanor.
Este es un pendejo.
I try not to use that one often,
Okay, not that one.
but like those teenagers that come with a long face, I always say, tiene un morro que se lo pisa. That means such a long face, he's stepping on it.
Yeah.
You know? So when I say that, the doctor knows that I have a moody teenager in the room.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
that's funny.
And he knows. He goes, oh, pizza? Yeah. Moody teenager. He equates pizza, which is what he hears,
Yeah.
with a moody teenager.
That's
Oh, that's
So
funny.
yeah, but yeah, it's amazing. You get to see the different development of the children and the different way they are. Your children are our children are
Yeah.
so warm and affectionate, and they're so loving, and that is not norm. It
Yeah.
not at that age.
yeah.
That's something I
hope
remember that from my grandparents.
Yeah,
You know, from
them always being affectionate with you.
yeah, from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that from my like Nana and Nano.
and abuelita.
It was never abuelita, abuelito.
See,
It was always hugs, like
Yeah.
good hugs and kisses. It wasn't like just like, hey, here's a pat on the back.
right.
Not like we hold each other. You know.
And the only one you have left now is abuelita Gladys.
Yeah.
That's in
Yeah.
Ecuador.
She's so cute.
She's
she
so
asked me
sweet.
to come visit her.
Yeah.
Aw, she always comments on our photos.
I
Like,
love her.
all
So
the
sweet.
time.
I love her. Her and I keep in touch on Messenger.
Yeah.
She is sweet as can be. She
Yes.
remembers me, and when I went there, we went there for a month. She used to make juice for me every day, fresh blackberry juice, because she found out that I liked it. She had tried different juices, and when I told her that I liked that one so much, from then on, that's what she made for me every day, fresh blackberry juice.
Nice.
She's such a wonderful lady.
Yeah. We got to go visit.
And
Gotta go
very,
visit Ecuador.
and very spiritual, so feel free to take him.
Yeah. Yeah. I need all the help that I can get. Right.
Was abuela
Abuelita
spiritual?
Sara?
Sí.
No.
No.
Nana.
No, Nana.
Nana?
Yes, Nana.
No. Yeah.
Well, if I tell you about Nana almost became a nun. She was in the convent and she went through the novitiate because when she was a child, her marriage had been arranged by her parents. Okay, this is in the time where they arranged marriages.
Yeah.
And she had been arranged to marry her cousin so that her second cousin, so that they can keep land in the family, because her family was an agricultural family. When she turned 15 or so, and she was told that she was going to marry her cousin, she told her father that there was no way. She hated him. I
Yeah.
mean, she had, as a child growing up, they used to play together or fight together a lot, and she had thrown a rock and split his head open. That's how much.
She's like, I'm not doing this.
That's how much she
Holy
didn't.
crap.
Not doing
That's
this.
how much she didn't like him. So when she found out that she was supposed to marry him, and she told her father no, her father didn't give her an option. He said, well, you do have two options. One, you marry your cousin. Two, you go in the convent.
Damn.
So she chose to go into the convent.
That's so crazy.
And she went into the convent. She was in there for a good 5 years, 6 years.
I wish I could have met her.
Damn.
You know, I wish I
yes.
could have met her.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
She
would have loved you.
She was 6 months from taking her vows to become a nun and get her habit. And her spiritual advisor told her that she needed to leave and distance herself from the convent, excuse me, just to see if this was her calling.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't her calling, she wouldn't come back to the convent to become a nun. If
Yeah.
it was, she would. And she didn't want her to be there for the reason of running away from something.
Yeah.
And she did leave, and she went back and spoke to her spiritual advisor, but did not become a nun
Yeah.
and didn't take her vows.
So I know I've mentioned it on here before, but a lot of people, like they say, like my grandmother can cook. You know, my my grandma can cook. You know, like, oh yeah, I know your grandma cooks. My grandma can cook.
Right.
Well, for everybody listening, your grandma may cook, but not like my grandma. Because you were telling me about how she learned how to cook.
She did.
From that experience, right?
Yes, because when she left the convent, she ended up taking a formal class from a very famous French chef. And her formal class started not with cooking, but with how to shop the proper things during the proper seasons, how to pick out vegetables.
I mean, that's
fruits.
step one for cooking,
Right.
like professional
It is.
cooking.
Right?
For professional cooking, you have to know your ingredients. So she was taught how to shop, what seasons, what melons, what fruit, what vegetables, how to pick them out. And then she went into a full course of learning how to cook, how to season, nothing with recipes, everything common sense.
Yeah.
And how to dissect recipes, how to taste something and be able to reproduce it without a recipe.
wow.
And
Like
she
figuring
was
out
very-
what's in that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
I remember you telling me that even her sandwiches were out of this world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
you know.
What was it?
It
It was
was
like that. Was it Eddie Murphy, Raw or Delirious, when he was like, when you're starving, somebody gives you a wrist. Like, God damn, that's a good cookie. Is that wrist? Is that? I'm telling everything that she made was like, oh man, this is
Yes.
so good.
She was very,
Everything,
very good.
yeah.
And the only thing is that she did not complete the course, so she never followed and did any baking, which was the last part of the course.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't complete the course, so she was not a good baker. For that
I don't
reason.
remember Nana baking anything.
Exactly. The only thing she would bake was a pineapple upside down cake.
Really?
And flan.
And flan. I remember the flan. Yeah.
She would do those. But the pineapple upside down cake she learned from Yayi, who is
My great grandmother.
your great grandmother. And
Yayi. See, this is
That's-
all new to me because Nana,
that's
Nano, Grandma, Grandpa, Yaya was new for me. Yaya was new for me.
Right.
Now Yayi,
Yayi was my dad's mom.
so that's a great grandmother.
That's his great
Well,
grandmother.
they're
But they're
nicknames, babe.
referred as
That's-
Yayi.
They're nicknames.
That's
Yeah.
what she was always referred to.
Yeah.
As my grandmother, she was Yayi.
Yeah.
As his great grandmother, she was
was
Yayi.
Yayi.
Wow.
So that's like my mom was Nana to him, and she would have been Nana to your children.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
but Yayi, she's her recipe for my dad's favorite cake came from her, and my mom learned how to make it, and then she changed it and made it better, because my mother would grab my grandmother's recipes and change them and make them her own.
Yeah.
She always did that.
Yeah.
And I have a book of 145 recipes that are my grandmother's, which are his great grandmother's.
Wow.
I have them on Google Drive. Shout out.
Shout out to Google Drive. I don't think they need.
Sponsor.
I don't think they
I
need
think
any
they
more
need any
shout
more
outs.
shout out.
Maybe we'll get residuals. Who knows?
Oh man,
But yeah, we have 145 of her recipes that I have personally
that's cool.
put on Word documents.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think next time maybe we can get into a little bit more of Nana's story, and yeah, because you've told me some about it, and that's something that I would like. Even it was
For the
it was
kids
a
to
crazy.
hear.
I mean, even it's just an interesting story. It was nuts,
is.
like the Civil War in Spain and how she had to flee.
She was 4 years old when the Civil War broke out, and the house that she lived in was bombed.
Yeah.
And she was covered by a wall of stone, and they left her for dead.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yes. Her sister got hit with shrapnel in her head, and a piece of the bomb was embedded in her sister's head, and she was bleeding. And they saw that my mom's bed was completely covered with the stone from the wall where the bomb had hit. And they thought that she was dead, so that they would go back after they took care of her sister. So they took her to the doctor that was in town. It was a small town of 400 families. And they took her to the doctor. They bandaged her up just to keep her stable. And then they went back to uncover my mom. Yeah. And they found that she was alive.
Crazy. And then it gets even
crazier
from there.
Yeah.
So next time you come on, Mom, we'll get into all that.
Sure.
But it's been awesome having you on the podcast, Mom.
Thank
We
you.
love you so much. We've had such a good time. We don't want you to leave. But you'll be back.
You'll be back.
Maybe I can send Yayo home and he can start sending me stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think he'd be okay with that. Us keeping his wife. No.
Yeah.
But thanks, Mom.
Amazing.
We love you so
guys.
much.
Yes.
So happy to be here. Sad that I'm leaving.
I know.
So
the time went by so fast.
I can't believe it's been an hour.
I know, it's been so fast. I'm talking about you being here.
I know, that too.
that too.
Oh my God.
Yep. So make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share with those that you know. Like I said, you got check out the support the show tab at the top, or if you hit the menu button on your cell phone, you'll see the support the show tab.
Yes.
You can support us through those links.
We love you. Thank you all for your support, and thank you for listening to Opposites Attract podcast,
where we get better
together. Bye.